What was the assessment after watching the film, and were there any fresh concerns that you came out of agreeing with?
Yeah, I think there's always concerns. I mean, obviously excited to be 4-0. Bulk of the country's not, but in a road environment for the first time. But no, there's always concerns. Concerns when the scoreboard says 28 at the end of the game, and that's no disrespect to the opponent. They are trying to win every week, and then I thought saw a lot of stuff. You know, as you go through and handle a lot, but. I'll say this, you know, most specific to this past week, maybe as a general assessment is I kind of likened it to a pitcher where you got strikeouts, you don't have many walks, you don't have many runners on base, but your ERA, and you look up at the end of the game, they still got 4 or 5 runs. So how can it be that the strikeout count? We didn't walk anybody, we didn't have a bunch of big innings, but again, look at the run total at the end of the game. And I don't mean that to deflect. I mean that to really put a spotlight on the fact the chief goal is to keep points off the board. And so, you know, several examples, certainly where we did, I was disappointed, majorly disappointed in the final touchdown game in the fourth quarter. We got to learn many places we made in the fourth, which is a welcome change from some other weeks around here. You know, to have one at the end like that, on the 4th and 7th, was really disappointing. But no, there's always concerns, but they're weekly concerns. I mean, that play we made, and we made a lot of them. We got to go make it again. We did the ones we did. We got to find a way to make it.
Seems like Keon's snap count has been plummeting consistently throughout the year. You know, what are you seeing as far as the defensive competition?
Yeah, I think specific to everybody is you know, as you get, you know, some guys have a production and they earn the right to, again, use another, I guess, baseball. You guys get hits, you can keep getting in front of the order type of thing. But by no means, I don't think it's an indictment against to your question in terms of Keon himself. You know, continue to be part of the rotation, continue to fight and scratch and claw, to be a major piece of our defense. We expect him to, and I think probably more of a credit to maybe some of the other guys as opposed to the starting runner against him.
What's the thing about Colorado's opportunity specifically? What should there have been able to do so far?
Yeah, just really impressive, you know, and the film, you know, the film speaks for itself. I'm sure they're frustrated with some opportunities this past weekend, but you know, in totality, which is what as you go through cutups and everything else, all you can see is an explosive offense and a quarterback somewhere in the vicinity of 80% completion percentage, which, you know, obviously raises eyebrows. You know, the ability to extend plays and still throw the ball downfield is obviously you know, alarming as you watch it, and some skill guys can get that ball too. And so no, just again, very impressive. You know, you so badly want to say they're not good at X, they're not good at Y. That's just not been the case as you go through the window. So very impressive at the quarterback position, but he's got some weapons to get the ball to.
You look a log jam at linebacker. What's the conversation with Ray, John, and Shane, and how'd you feel Mason?
Yeah, I think it's similar. It's an ongoing, you know, and then in best case scenario, you have that at every position, and we haven't been in that situation in our year and a half here. At every spot, but I mean that happens to be one where you're constantly evaluating. Obviously, the game film is the chief evaluation tool, and then the game week of preparation prior to and then after. And so that's a constant as you evaluate. You know, I know we've talked about we kind of make a decision at the end of the week in terms of rotations, and then, you know, sometimes it depends how the game's going in terms of how guys are playing and a number of different things. But you know, that conversation is ongoing, and then it's also a reminder to the guys maybe have gotten those reps this past Saturday. Don't assume you're going to get them this next Saturday. So no, I mean, the guys that you know, we think that as things go on again as early as this weekend can still have a major role for us.
I know tackling has been a problem at times, going back to last year. Do you change your message at all when it is kind of another issue that creeps up again, or is it kind of the same message that it was even last year?
Yeah, I think you know, it's a skill in football that you constantly work on. I mean, the message is to make it, which is obviously, you know, just kind of like making a shot at basketball. Every time you do, you know, they got to do it. But there's also obviously some key fundamentals attached to it. Pressing hips, attempting to wrap, and get your feet go dead. And the video, the nice thing is the video shows all that stuff. The problem is you don't get videos. And so the big thing is those are very specific plays. They're not generic issues. And then it's, you know, you got to make sure as a coach and as a player that you're very specific. You didn't make that tackle, but you didn't miss tackle, or you missed that tackle. Now, obviously, they can turn That's twice. That's two different plays in two different instances, and so often it's two different issues. And so there's not just a magic bullet on that. Percentage-wise, again, I would say the needle's pointed in a positive direction, but that doesn't get it done in these moments. You got to trust your technique, trust your fundamentals, put pads on people. I think it was 2 weeks ago we were really excited about how physically we played. So, which is a great point that it's always a one-week evaluation, it's a one-play evaluation, series, drive, half, and ultimately game. So no, it's constantly working on it.
Do one more.
What was the mid-game adjustment like to some of the more creative play calling on the other side with Arizona State, and how do you guys feel like you handled it?
Well, in some ways, I mean, you could probably evaluate just the same way I did. Where you sit there, some of the wildcat, that they did. A wildcat punt is a new one, and then a wildcat punt fake, and obviously onside kick. But that's also what you got to expect. The teams are going to throw it at you, and I mean that from every which way, to try to move the ball on you and everything else. And so you're trying to stay ahead of it is the best answer. But obviously some of those instances that didn't show up on tape, prior to. And so in those moments you got to trust your rules. I think for the most part the message to the guys is, what you have in those moments is you got your rules to the best of your ability. Trust what you know, let it rip, play fast, play physical, and by and large you're going to end up on the right side of it. And sometimes you got to foul the ball off. I mean, it's not one you're going to hit out of the park. You just, a foul ball means they don't score, right? And so a couple instances where we obviously got the better than. So, but no, that's ongoing. To give them credit for coming up with some stuff that fits.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you all. Thank you.